Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good morning to you and a good Sabbath. Let's share a little of it together. Let's share a little of the Shalom, of the holiness, of the blessing, of the goodness of this day, of this seventh day that has dated, come back to creation and back to the original first 7 days of the universe's existence. Thank you for joining me and letting me be a part of your Sabbath experience this week. We are in the second week of consolation. The word that is flowing over the universe right now from the creator of the universe is Nachamu. Speak comfort. Speak consolation. Refresh, renew, rejuvenate, restore, heal the land. So we'll be on that theme for the next 6 more weeks. We started last week with the Shabbat Nachamu, and this week is the second week in the series of 7 that lays out the beautiful end game of the creator of the universe, how he has ordained from the beginning that this world, this age at least as we know it, will wrap its way up and culminate in the fullness to which it was called. This is not a thing to be afraid of. This is a thing to rejoice and enjoy. And so welcome to the Sabbath. The Sabbath is this day that we will all recognize whenever the end game plays its way out, and we will sense that the world was made for Sabbath. Well, we're getting a foretaste of that right now on this day. Let go of all the pain. Let go of the wounding. Let go of the stress. Let go of the anxiety, beloved. Let go of the anger and the angst. Let go of the offense. Just let that stuff go today. But this Sabbath day, practice the presence of the creator of the universe. Practice holiness. Practice being one with him, resonating with his voice, and falling into harmony with his ways and his words. This is what Sabbath is all about. This is the Sabbath of Ekev. So welcome, let's join together, let's experience some of this together. Parsha number 46, Deuteronomy 7:12 through Deuteronomy 11:25. That's if you want to grab your Torah scrolls, your Bibles, you want to grab them and you want to have them open while we're talking, while we're sharing this Sabbath, these Sabbath moments together. If you want to have them open, go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12, and you can put your other finger or maybe a piece of paper or a marker at 11:25, because we have these 5 chapters or 4.5 chapters of material that is all called by name by the ancient Hebrews. It's called Ekev. Ekev is usually translated in English because we don't really know how to do this. To go from a whole mindset and worldview to another, and language is the barrier in this situation, because the Western world and the English language do not really pick up on the nuances that are given from the Creator's chosen language, which is Hebrew. And so the word is Ekev, and that's basically the second word of this parsha, of this section from Deuteronomy 7:12 through 11:25. The second Hebrew word in Parsha Ekev is Ekev, and that's why the name is called that. This is the first one is Vahaya, and it will come to pass. It will come to pass Ekev, and then so the English label says because or if, when. That's kind of the way it's pronounced. But there are other Hebrew words that say if or when better. There's im. There is ki. There is different words. Ki or im are ways to pronounce that with sort of a causation, cause and effect relationship. That's not this. Ekev is a different word. And Ekev is really a form of the word that the Hebrews used to describe the part of the foot that we know as the heel. Tajon, in Spanish, but the idea of the heel, that which the weight bearing part, the part that when you really are walking, you leave an imprint on this ground with your heel. The other parts of your foot hit first, but the heel makes the deepest mark. And so we're talking about a mark that we leave, a footprint that we leave behind. The subject matter today of this parsha that we talk about on this Sabbath is the foundation stones. We are quarrying, as it were, foundation stones for a kingdom of heaven-centered society that we are called to build upon the earth. We're going to discuss that in more detail, hopefully, in our time together this morning. But I just want you to get this picture, that what we're talking about is the substance and the weight that is on the mark that we leave upon the earth. And there was a word or a phrase that's used in Hebrew often. It really comes from the Torah and from some of the prayers of the ancient people, the Aleinu and other prayers. It's called Tikkun Olam. And Tikkun Olam has come to mean a lot of things to a lot of people these days. But Tikkun Olam in its basic form means to fix or repair or bring restoration to the world or the age, or to the creation. So fixing, bringing repair, bringing restoration, bringing healing, as it were, to the world, to the creation, to the earth, to the species of the earth, to the people of the earth, bringing healing, bringing restoration, bringing comfort. So to some degree, Sabbath is the picture of this, but we're going to go beyond that picture, that image, to some specific things, some quarrying. We're going to do some quarrying. Digging out some stones, digging out some foundation stones that will be the basis on which we start building the kingdom of heaven-centered society. At least that's the plan of the Holy One. As we sit today, as we begin this study, the Holy One's plan is to begin to enlist us, to commission us, to empower us, and to inspire us to build a kingdom of heaven-centered society upon certain foundation stones. That's where we're going to get to, the foundation stones. So I call this the Parsha of Foundational Tikkun Olam Protocols, quarrying the stones. Now the question becomes, and the question that the Holy One may be asking you, is are you ready to, and do you know how to leave a kingdom footprint? Huella in Spanish. Do you know how to leave a kingdom footprint everywhere the soles of your feet tread? Do you know how to leave a kingdom footprint with a heel mark that shows the weight of the one who is with you and is in you? Huella, everywhere the soles of your feet tread. This will be our focus today. Tikkun Olam Protocols, foundation stones. What will be, what are to be, what could be the telltale signs that we, you and I and others who are walking in the covenant, what will be the telltale signs that we who walk in the covenant are or are not actually walking with the Master at his side, learning his craft? What will be the signs? What, by these signs we will know them. It says, I believe it's in a written place in the Brit Hadashah. But now I'm talking about from the standpoint of building the kingdom of heaven society, of carrying forth the grand plan of the creator of the universe for redemption and restoration into the world, building a model society, a model culture, a model nation in the world, a goy kadosh, a holy nation, a mamlaket hakohanim, a kingdom of priests, an am segula, a model, example provided to the world and put up on a pedestal in a sense that they can be seen by all people. Well, what will be the telltale signs? What are the marks? What are the foundation stones that we carry that leave that mark with our heel? Well, beloved, the proof is in the footprints. The proof is in the footprints you leave behind in the dirt or the sand. The level at which you show impact, have an impact upon the world and its species, its geographical regions, its spaces, and its faces, its people in this world. The proof is in the footprints. Now, if we're going to be tested or checked or responsible and accountable for walking with the Master, doing what he's doing, we kind of need to understand, right, what he's doing. What is the Master doing? What is this craft that he is engaged in that we are to learn from him? Well, it's this craft we have already referred to as Tikkun Olam, fixing, repairing, bringing healing and restoration to the age, the world, the creation. Now, that's a strange concept in today's world because everybody's a critic, right? Everybody that we know is angry about something, is offended about something, is outraged about something. And most people actually delight in pointing out and bemoaning how bad things in the world are. You've heard it all around. You hear it on the television, you hear it in the internet, and the social media. You hear it in ordinary conversations. You hear it maybe in your own households. I hope not. You hear people pointing out and bemoaning how bad things are. Maybe some of them have nostalgia for the quote the good old days. Others are just, we're all going to die. It's all going to collapse. The climate's going to cause the waters to rise, and we're all going to drown, and we're all going to burn up in heat, and whatever. The pointing out and bemoaning how bad things are, and then beyond just pointing out, that would be bad enough if all they did was point out and bemoan how bad things are, or how bad they see them to be. The next thing is to theorize and pontificate about how they wish things were. First of all, who's to blame for the situation it's in? They find ways to blame everybody but themselves and their people. And then they pontificate about how they wish things were in their own minds to suit their own needs, to suit their own desires, to suit their own ideals and ideas. Well, that's the idea. The problem is we need to fix that. This whole anti-healing, anti-restoration movement is be angry, be upset, be outraged, be offended, be sad, be depressed, be fearful. This is the message of the world, and that is the doing great damage to all the species, to all the environment, to everything else. This negativity and toxicity that keeps pouring out from people's mouths and off of their pens and off of their keyboards is killing us, beloved. But the Holy One has a plan. He has a craft. He's good at what he does. And his plan is to repair the world, to fix the world, to make that which is wrong, or that which is not going in a positive direction, to make it turn and go the right direction. Only the Holy One has a vision and a workable plan to actually fix the world. Tikkun olam, fix the world. Arreglar el mundo, fix the world, repair and restore the world. You see, the current state of creation is, as some of the critics are correct to point out, if that's all they could do, the current state of the creation is shattered, roto, and it's fragmented, it's dysfunctional as it is right now, and there's a reason for that. Human self-idolization, idolizing self, idolizing emotions, idolizing desires and passions, and idolizing hormones and the hormonal rush that you get, idolizing everything that is about us and what we want, idolizing self-will, idolizing self-promotion, self-idolization. That is the thing that's caused the damage. It results in perversion. It results in corruption. It results in violence. It wreaks havoc on creation. It subjects it to limitations and restrictions. It's not as fruitful as it was designed to be. You remember the garden and the thorn and thistle curse. You will the earth will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will earn your earn your food by the sweat of your brow. You remember this garden curse that was spoken, and that's really where we are. We're in the thorn and thistle curse realm. And the earth, the creation, is not able to produce what it's supposed to produce, a garden-like, Eden-like state of great fruitfulness. Instead, we're getting, it's under a great burden. It's groaning under this great and terrible burden. It's almost like Bnei Israel groaning in Egypt under the bondage of the Egyptian taskmasters and the Pharaoh. And now, if you understand that it's like that, you also understand there is a redemption coming. There is a restoration. There is a deliverance. There is an intervention about to take place as the groaning of the earth matches the groaning of the sons of Abraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov in bondage in Egypt. You'll see the deliverance begin to manifest. There is a grand plan of redemption and restoration afoot. The Holy One has that grand plan, and that grand plan is to make tikkun olam, arreglar el mundo. Well, the plan is where? Where do we find the plan? How do we know what the plan is? The plan is in the scrolls of the Torah. The ancient scrolls. Plan has not changed. The plan has always been the same. It's written in the scrolls. See, the scrolls contain the secrets, the foundation stones of a kingdom of heaven-centered society, of replacement of that which is dysfunctional and broken with a world of a people, a nation, a set of a government, as it were, in the strictest Hebrew sense of that word, that brings healing and restoration, as opposed to imposing burdens upon people and the land. Only the plan that's in the scrolls will make tikkun olam, will fix the world. But political theory and rhetoric of men will never fix anything. It will just make the situation worse. No matter which political theory or theories you adopt or embrace, no matter which side's rhetoric you take, it will never help anything. All it will do is cause more division, more angst, more anxiety. It will just increase the burden upon the world. Political theory and rhetoric never fix anything. They can't fix the world. The message is in the scrolls. The plan is in the scrolls, beloved. Social justice movements and equality movements and equity movements, any movement, religious movements, these will not fix the world. These are things that generate in the heart and the mind of man and come out with the vocabulary and the verbosity of man. And they usually are an anti-something. They're against something else. Social justice is usually against somebody or some group of people or some ethnicity. Equality movements are usually, it's not really about equality. Usually it's about superiority of the one that is deemed in their mind to be treated as inferior. And they really want to prove their superiority. And so there's no love in it. There's no healing in it. There's no restoration in it. It's only hate, recycled, repackaged in different language, vocabulary. Social justice, equality. These movements cannot fix it. Only it's in the scrolls. The messages of the scrolls are where the fixing, where the repair, tikkun olam, foundation stones will be found. Government programs will never even begin to touch the evils that are in the world, the brokenness of the world. They will not fix the world. They will not bring tikkun olam. There is no government that's good enough. There is no government policy or program that could possibly touch even the slightest level to bring a healing. All they can do is put a salve on it and basically make it scab over to where it actually becomes more of a scar tissue than it does a healed process. No war, no revolution, no riot, no protest will be of any benefit whatsoever in tikkun olam, in the grand plan. Oh, beloved, listen to me. It's in the scrolls. The secret is in the scrolls. No institution of man, no organization formed, no 501c3 charitable organization, no synagogue, no church, no temple, no mosque, no institution, no organization whatsoever will have any positive impact whatsoever on tikkun olam. The secret is in the scrolls. Nor will any educational program, informational program, or indoctrination program, which those three blend together. Education becomes miseducation, information becomes disinformation, and indoctrination becomes the theme of the day every time this starts. There is no secret, no help found in educational, informational, or indoctrination programs initiated by men or organizations or institutions. What is it going to take then to heal, to fix the world? For the secret is in, you know it, in los pergaminos, in the scrolls, beloved. Well, Torah is the secret. You see, Torah is the treatment. Moshiach is the physician in charge. We are the physician's assistants. Torah is the treatment protocol. Mashiach is the physician in charge who gives the prescription and calls for the dosage and sets the terms and conditions of the treatment program. And we are the physician's assistants who are authorized to administer the treatment. which are the mitzvot of Torah, the mishpatim of Torah, the hukim of Torah, the edut, the testimonies of Torah, the pikudim, the appointments of Torah, the dibrot, or devarim of Torah, the words that empower and inspire of Torah, the mashalim, the proverbs, the moral stories of Torah. All these different aspects of the Torah are like medicines that we prescribe at the proper time for the proper situation at the proper moment. In proper dosage, in proper timing, in the proper environment of healing with an appropriate bedside manner. I went through a lot of things. We're the physician's assistants. Mashiach is the physician in charge. Torah is the treatment protocol. And we are to administer these things in proper dosage, in proper timing, in proper environment, with setting the proper environment and tone with the appropriate bedside manner. We're now responsible for these things. If we're going to build a kingdom of heaven-centered society, we must use the treatment protocol. We must walk hand in hand with Mashiach, who is the physician in charge. And we must make everything ready for him in accordance with his protocols, his prescriptions, in anticipation for him making his next round, making his rounds, coming back, and being with us. Well, the Tikkun protocols of Torah start with vision. The element number one, the foundation stone number one, is what is your vision? If you have a Torah-based, Torah-inspired vision, then we will get into phase two, which has to do with Torah-inspired action and Torah vision-inspired action. But we're going to stay with just the vision issue. We have to have a mission vision. I think most people get a trouble vision, a problem vision. You can see, you think you have discernment because you see evil, you see cruelty, you see injustice. You think that's some sort of inspired vision. It's not. How can you not see it? The issue of inspired vision is, can you see things through the eyes of the creator of the universe, and can you see them through the prism of the Torah? The mission. Did you see the mission? Do you see we're here to bring Tikkun Olam? Well, this is where certain parts of the Torah come in handy. The Imrot, the things that the Holy One said. Imrot, and from Imar to Anish said, and the Holy One said. And the Barachot, he blessed, remember the days of creation, and he blessed for instance, he blessed the waters to bring forth the fish. He blessed the earth to bring forth grains and trees and orchards. He blessed the seventh day. He blessed man to be fruitful and multiply. The blessing, the brachot. So the imrot of Torah give us vision. The brachot of Torah, what he says he blessed, gives us vision. Then we get to, again, the seventh day. Then the devarim, the dibrot, the things that he actually spoke, the actual words that empower and bring it to pass. Then the lech lekaz, like he told to Abraham, go forth, go unto yourself, become who you are created to be. The lech lekah words, the takakot, the admonitions, don't do this, don't do that, be careful about this is your cautionary tale. The takakot, the Torah, the yiraz, be afraid of this, don't be afraid of that. The re'ez, behold this, don't look at that right now. That's not what you need to focus on. And the lo tiraz, don't be afraid. This is where these kinds of different ways of words that are found in the Torah begin to give us this inspired vision. If we heed the imrot and the barachot, the devarim, dibrot, the lekakaz, the takakot, the yiraz, and the re'ez, and the lo tiraz of the Torah, we begin to get and catch the Torah-inspired vision. And there is an energy that comes with that vision. There is a passion. There is a fire within that comes with that mission vision. Do you have the vision? Do you want the vision? Are you ready on this Sabbath day to take a step aside from all the discernment of evil to look at the Torah's inspired vision for what needs to take place next? Well, that element number one is Torah-inspired vision. First of all, it starts with a vision for Adam's seed, the seed of man. Do you have a vision for mankind being redeemed, healed, restored, for a great return to the Garden of Eden and to the Edenic world, actually a spreading of the Garden of Eden throughout the entire world? Do you, at the hands of, with the assistance of Adam, when he co-labors and co-regents with the creator of the universe? I'm not talking about the historical Adam. I'm talking about the seed of Adam, all mankind coming together in harmony. And everyone will come. Multitudes will not come. That's their business. That's their choice. But multitudes will come. Multitudes, great multitudes that have a great impact and heel print and footprint upon the world because they bear the mark of the master's craft in them. This, the Tikkun Olam end game. And it starts with the work he does in the human being. The creator of the universe, it said in Ecclesiastes 3, he put eternity, Olam, he put the vision beyond the veil in the hearts of man. It's there. We just have to awaken it. The Creator has to breathe upon it and awaken that eternity, that olam, that vision beyond the veil that is in them. And the neshama that was breathed into Adam in Genesis 2:7, we have that story. When that is breathed upon and awakened by the Holy One, yes, multitudes will come, and there will be a great restoration. There will be a great reconciliation, like unto the reconciliation between Joseph and his brothers. This will happen. This is the vision for the end game involving Adam's seed. So how do you see yourself, beloved one who's listening to me today, sharing this Sabbath with you? How do you see yourself? Do you see your reason to be alive? You have a reason to be alive at such a time as this? Do you see it as being a healer, as being a voice of shalom and a producer, a declarer of the vision? With the other ones, do you see you yourself as being an inspirer and an empowerer, or do you see yourself as being some kind of critic, some kind of woe lamenter who always cries and weeps and wails? Do you see yourself as being some sort of a lone ranger vigilante who tries to punish people who've done wrong? What is it you see yourself as? What vision do you have for yourself as Adam's seed? Do you see yourself as being more than just another problem in this world, another part of the problem, or do you see yourself as being a solution? Sometimes the things that cause us to feel like we're a problem is having what I call grasshopper orientation. We're just a one little bit. We're nothing. We're nobody. We can't do anything. We're just a grasshopper in the world of giants. And what really matters is governments and kings and politicians and elites and Illuminatis and all those people. They control the world, and the rich people do this, and this ethnicity does this, and what? No, that's grasshopper orientation. You don't understand who you are. You're the seed of Adam. And every breath and every empowerment the Holy One put in Adam in the beginning can be awakened in you. So don't succumb. Don't give up to grasshopper orientation. Some people have a victim orientation. The world's so hard. It's hurt me so bad. I've been so wounded. I'm just so crippled. And you see where we've taken on something that is not yours. You've taken on some lie of the enemy that you're a victim more than you are a part of the solution. Well, you can. Don't get the grasshopper orientation. Don't take the victim orientation. Another toxic orientation that men see when they look at themselves is entitlement. The people owe me. You owe me this. I deserve this. Entitlement, the entitlement orientation. You see how toxic that can be. No, we're not entitled. No one owes us anything. The Creator of the universe doesn't owe us anything. We get the privilege of being a part of His kingdom. We get the privilege of being part of the solution. We get the joy and the honor and the delight of working with Him, alongside of Him, co-laboring with Him. There's no entitlement orientation place where we're entitled because bad things have happened to us or to our relatives or to our ancestors at different times. Some people take on a taker orientation. What can I take for myself? Grab all the gusto. Grab all this. I'm going to get mine. Taker orientation. Well, you see how toxic that is. God, the Holy One wants us to be givers. He wants us to be healers, and we must provide according to the Mashiach vision and Torah's instruction. As Mashiach gives it to us, we must give as opposed to take. Some people have, and it's all about ethnicity orientation. Well, my people do it this way. My race does it this way. Oh, you see, we're all Adam's seed. We're not races. That is skin pigmentation. And that's geographical region of orientation. That's that origin. That's what that is. It's nothing that has permanency to it. Oh, there is an eternity in the heart of man that goes way beyond that knows no ethnicity, knows no geographical region, knows no nationality, knows no elements of culture. Some people say it's all about money and power. That's their orientation. I can get enough money, I can make a difference. No, you can make a difference with nothing. You can make a difference as a poor man. You can make the difference, the healing process. Don't let these things, the world tell you, the nations tell you, the media tell you that you need money. And the people who have money have the power. No, you have the power if you have the creative energy of the Holy One in you, working in you. Now, some people think also have the orientation to mankind that all's fair in love and war. Look, I'm going to do what I got to do. I got to do what I got to do to get mine. That whole issue again. No, we need to do what the Creator of the universe says to do. We need to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. We need to walk in the holiness and the goodness of the ways of the Holy One. And so we have another orientation. The orientation we are called to have toward life, the view, the vision we're supposed to have regarding ourselves and other people is the early Adamic vision that we are co-laborers with the Creator of the universe. We are His designed creation. We are His answer to the world's problems, not the problems themselves. Early Adamic orientation and vision for Adam's seed is to be co-laborers with the Creator of the universe, co-regents over the creation, tending and keeping in good stewardship and with hope for the future orientation. Well, that's the way we look at mankind. How should we look at mankind? If we're going to have a vision for mankind, that's what's got to have to be. The Shabbat, the Sabbath day, the seventh day, is all about reorienting ourselves, resonating once again with the Holy One's vision for man, ourselves and others. But that's not all. The other part of the vision of Tikkun Olam is Admah vision, the vision regarding the land, regarding the created order, healing, redemption, and restoration of the land by imparting blessings and by spreading and making shalom, and by exuding kedusha, or holiness energy, all according to the Torah. So the question that the Holy One may ask you today, or be putting on your mind, is how do you see the eretz, the land? How do you see Adamah, the dirt? How do you see it when you look at it? Is it just dirt? Is it just a problem? What do you see when you look at the eretz that the Holy One has placed before you, the creation ecosystem that He's designed for us to live in and to tend and to keep? Do you have, I guess one of the negative ones would be obstacle course orientation. Do you see this as an obstacle course you as a human being are presented and have to navigate, and you're pretty much perturbed by the idea that you have these different obstacles along the course? Is that the orientation you have, that this is something you conquer and overcome, as opposed to something you serve? The second orientation that you might have is that there's too many danger zones. There's too many no-fly zones in this world. There's dangerous places in this world. There's dark places and places where you just don't want to go and you just refuse to go. That's the idea of the negative, the toxic orientation, the vision that is not the vision of the Holy One for this world. And then there's the captivity and prison orientation. I'm just a prisoner here on this earth, in this body. I have to live here. I don't want to be here. I didn't ask to be here. I don't want to be in this body. I don't want to be in this land. I just want to float on clouds and be in heaven, or just be at peace and not have to. I want the world to go quiet, and I just want my own little space. Well, captivity, prison orientation is not the Holy One's way. Then there's this is a wasteland. This is the armpit of the world wherever I am. Do you see the world around you like that? This is a horrible place to be. If I could be anywhere else, I'd be there. I could be at the beach, I'd be at the beach. If I could be in the mountains, I'd be in the mountains. But why here? Well, that's the idea. You're here because you're deployed. You've been placed here. This is your mission field. This is your area. This is your place to love, to tend, to keep, to honor, to cherish. Well, then there's the battlefield orientation. You could have a negative idea, a negative vision. The world's a war zone, a battlefield. A crime is happening, and injustices are everywhere, and I hate this place. Well, that's the idea of people who have no vision, no kingdom vision at all, and cannot be a foundation stone. That can't be the foundation stone of building a kingdom of heaven-sent society. Those who would build a kingdom of heaven-sent society must have a sleeping beauty orientation. that the earth, the creation, is now under frustration. It's now a fragment, a shadow of its former self and its ideal self. But it is all destined to become like Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. If the area around you, if your house, if the land on which your house or your apartment or your mobile home or the box you live in were to become like Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, how fruitful would it be? How beautiful would it be? See, the fruitfulness and the productivity and the fertility is there. The beauty is there. It's just for those who have eyes to see through the lens of the Torah, through the heart and the vision and the words of the Creator. Well, what is Moshe's... We're back to the Torah now. I've been giving you the preliminaries, but back to the Torah. Moshe's vision, Moshe's Torah-inspired vision is this. He's going to say, that you may live. He's talking to Bnei Israel, who are on the plateau of Moab, overlooking the Jordan River and the land which they're going in to possess. And Moshe says his objective, his purpose, his vision is that you may live, and multiply, grow great, and expand in all directions, Rabbah, and go in and possess Yarash, make it an inheritance, of a place of perpetual care, that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the land, Eretz, the land concerning which the Holy One swore to your fathers. That's Deuteronomy 8:1. That's part of our parsha, a major portion. Do you understand? This is his idea, that you, because of the beauty of the land and the fruitfulness and the possibilities that exist within it, the potential that is there in every square inch of terra firma, but particularly centered in Eretz Yisrael, but it also applies to a level of degree in whatever little town, whatever village, whatever farm, whatever city you're in, that you may live and multiply, but you may live in it, that you may multiply and expand in it and grow great in it, and that you may go in it, you may take possession of it and begin to tend it and keep it and cherish it and guard it and make it fruitful and productive and release the shalom of the Holy One over it and bring forth the beauty within it. All what? The land concerning which the Holy One swore to your fathers. And he goes on and says, this is later in the parsha, in 11:24 through 25, at the very end of the parsha, Moshe carries forth this vision. Every place, he says, every place on which the sole of your foot, I told you this about the footprint, right? It's all in the footprint. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads shall be yours, from the wilderness, yes, and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even to the western sea, it shall be your domain, your territory. And no man, no negative influence, no discerning of evil person in the world who hates the things of the Holy One and the vision he has, no man shall be able to stand against you. No elite, no government official, no soldier, no anti-Messiah, no false prophet, no institutional head will be able to stand against you. But the Holy One will put the dread of you and the fear, the yirah of you, upon the land where you tread, and it will spread to the people who are on that land. The fear of you upon the land where you tread, just as he has said to you. Do you have a vision now? Do you understand that the land is designed to be made fruitful and beautiful and return to its Edenic state? And where you're the one who's supposed to do it. You as a physician's assistant, working under the supervision of the Mashiach, who is the superintendent physician in charge, and according to the treatment protocols of the kingdom, which are Torah's mitzvot, mishpatim, and instructions for living. All right. Every Torah vision eventually turns into element number 2, a Torah-inspired action plan. This is where other parts of the Torah, the mitzvot, the actual instructions for life, the mishpatim, the declarations of the Holy One as to what will bring forth life and health and peace over a course of time, as opposed to just bring vengeance or retribution or punishment to someone who's done something wrong. No, the mitzvot, the mishpatim, the hukim, the instructions, even things like the festivals, the celebration, the Sabbath, the things we celebrate. These are the hukim, the edut, the testimonies of the patriarchs, testimonies of the kings, the pekudim, the appointments, the visitations, the stories we have in Torah, the derakim, the ways that are proclaimed in the Mishmeret, the charges that are given. These are the action plan of Torah. This, I said, the secrets in the Torah, the healing, the Tikkun Olam plan. So, now we get past Moshe's vision for us and for the world and to Moshe's action plan. Here's his action plan. It's found in Deuteronomy 8:3 of this parsha, and then into chapter 10, verses 12 and the first part of 13. I'm going to read it for you. Again, this is Moshe's action plan objective for the Tikkun Olam project. These are the foundation stones we're quarrying. We get a vision for this, get our inspiration from this. Here we go. Remember, he says, that the Holy One, your God, led you, walked you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness to humble you, to bring you to a place of humility, because this is our bedside manner, and to test you to where we have passed the boards to be able to administer the treatments, to test you, to humble you, to test you, and to reveal, to reveal to you what was in your heart, to make you know and make known what is in your heart. This is all matters of the heart we're dealing with today. To make you know and reveal to you what is in your heart, whether you would shamar his mitzvot, his instructions for living or not. And now Israel, we're going on to chapter 10, verse 12 and 13. Now Israel, the whole Moshe is saying, his action plan. What does the Holy One, your God, require of you? This is chapter 10, verse 12 and 13. Now Israel, now you, now beloved, now my friends who are listening to and sharing this Sabbath morning with me. Now, what does the Holy One, your God, require of you? Here are 5 things. To fear, to yirah, to recognize and acknowledge, and therefore to respect and revere the Holy One, your God. That's number 1. To acknowledge He exists. It's not, you're not here alone trying to fight your way through this war zone down here. You are being, you have Overwatch. You have a Father. You have a guide. You have Mashiach. You have the Torah, the instruction manual. You have the map to go through. You have GPS to get you through this. Well, now Israel, what does the Holy One require of you? That you have yirah for the Holy One, your God. And then number 2, that you walk. You put your foot down. You put your heel down. You make a mark. You walk in all of His ways. That's the second thing. And verse number 3 is you love Him. You have Him. You pursue Him. You value Him. You prioritize the relationship you have with Him over the things of the world. You stay focused on Him and His plan and His ways as opposed to the distractions and the seductions and the irritations and the aggravations and the frustrations that the world throws at you. Now you love Him. That's the third thing, or the third thing. The fourth thing is that you serve, you abad, you see yourself as being in His service, you see as being part of His household, and you see Him as being a beloved, trusted, shivka, personal servant of the Holy One, your God. And you serve Him then with passion, with energy. It says, with all your heart, Moshe said, this is His action plan. That you serve the Holy One, your God, with all your heart. Unflinching, undivided heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your will, with all your emotions. You dig, you plow yourself, plunge yourself into it. You go all the way. And to shamar, treasure, cherish, cling to, highly value, and thus guard and protect the instructions, the mitzvot of the Holy One and His statutes. 5 things. I'll go through them one more time. What does the Holy One, your God, require of you? Beloved, we're going to be part of this Tikkun Olam program. We're going to catch the vision and now get the objective. These are the 5 things we do. We were to yirah, fear, bring reverence and honor to the Holy One, our God. Acknowledge who He is and what He's doing. Walk in His ways. Walk with Him, side by side. Not do things our way. Do things His way. And love Him. And value Him and pursue the relationship with Him in great measure. And then fourth, to serve Him with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our being. And then to guard and protect everything he said to do. The treatment protocols. Carefully follow the treatment protocols of the Torah, the Mishpatim, the Mitzvot, all the things he said to do. This is the way to fix the world. This is the way to heal it. So, questions on the table right now are worldview and footprint questions. First of all, do you understand, do you grasp, do you know the potential that the Creator has designed into all the places that you will go in your life? Every place you go in your life, even the things you consider now no-fly zones or danger zones or war zones or prison zones, even the things that you consider, every place, every square centimeter of the earth, every place you could go is a place he has designed great potential for productivity, for fruitfulness, and for shalom into. Do you know that? Do you sense it? Do you see it? Is your view, is your vision being increased and expanded today? Do you understand now, secondly, the role that you have been called to play in bringing out that potential? Do you see yourself as a trained physician's assistant? If you've been walking and studying in the Torah, if you've been experiencing it and trying to walk in it and do the things it says, do you see you've been under the physician's assistant training program? Mashiach is indeed the physician in charge. He's the head physician, but he is training us to be his physician's assistants. And we are now trained, and we are called to play a role of healing. Follow the treatment protocols. Apply them with bedside manner, in accordance with the plan of the Holy One. Follow it. Don't just spill truth. Don't just yell, scream truth. We need to apply it like up to a patient that can be healed, and let that be our viewpoint. So Moshe is calling forth a people of a great footprint. He is quarrying stones now, stones that will be used in building a kingdom of heaven-centered society. Now, you know that he's doing this in the book of Deuteronomy. We understand the historical background. But the book of Deuteronomy is not just a historical book. It is also, beloved, a prophetic book. So as we're in this in-game time, as we're doing the Nachamu Ami, comfort my people, and we're teaching, learning, rehashing, restoring our mind's vision of the in-game restoration plan of God, we realize Moshe was seeing into the future as well as into his day. What did Moshe know about the end of days? What did Moshe know about the days that are coming upon the world even now? What was it he was saying, and what should we glean from what Moshe has said to us in Deuteronomy? He said to our ancestors in Deuteronomy, and wrote down for posterity that every generation leading up to the generation of the end of days would know. Well, here's what Moshe knew, I believe, about the end of days. The climactic era of human history looms before us. This creates an urgent need for honorable, responsible leadership to emerge in the world. Leadership with a vision. Humble, honest, holy men and women. Not superstars, not great statesmen. I'm talking about ordinary human beings like you and me. Humble, honest, holy men and women. May we be that. Men and women with a credible vision of the kingdom, with a proven testimony of how the mitzvot and mishpatim of Torah apply, and how they bring healing into life, and with a rich deposit of shalom, of joy, of hope, and of peaceable wisdom from above. That kind of wisdom that doesn't cause controversies and doesn't divide people according to theology and rhetoric and ideology and politics. No, the peaceable wisdom from above, that which out of which flows shalom into the world. We become peacemakers, shalom asarers, builders of a atmosphere of peace in the world. Joy bringers, joy harbingers. We give hope. Wherever we go, hope springs up, and inspiration flows. This is the kind of leaders, ordinary civic leaders, family leaders, community leaders, world leaders that need to come forth at this stage because of the climactic era of human history that looms before us. And the emphasis needs to turn from what is right or what is wrong in the eyes of men to the reemergence of God's divine government on earth as it is in heaven. What is needed most, you see, is a return to the foundation stones. Go back to the quarry and dig out those foundation stones of the kingdom of heaven centered society again. Bring them forth at such a time as this, and let the Holy One's instructions take center stage and actually see the world begin to heal 1 square centimeter at a time. You see, beloved, my friends, on this Sabbath day, we're talking about vision, and we're talking about action to come. We're talking about the potential and the possibilities that exist in the world. We put aside our anxieties. We put aside our worries. We put aside our offenses and our anger. We put aside our depression, our sadness, and our despair over the way things are. We put aside our own sense of betrayal and a sense of rejection by men, and our sense of inferiority and our sense of weakness as an individual incapable of doing anything. We put all that aside because this is the Sabbath. And in the Sabbath all things are possible. In the resting and the blessing and the holiness, energy downflow of heaven, all things are possible. So let me say this to you, beloved. While there is a time coming of deep darkness, there is a people arising of immense, intense light. Beautiful, healing lamps of light coming forth. Though there is a time coming of intense, gathering darkness, there is a people arising, and you are called to be part of that people. I am called to be part of that people. We follow the instruction manual. We are the physician's assistants. The people arising. You see, a people, this people of great light and great lamp intensity, has been raised up in a wilderness situation for such a time as this. Have you felt like you've been in the wilderness? Well, you're coming out. And when you come out as shining, burning, and shining lamps. We have been trained while we're in the wilderness in the disciplines of wisdom, how not to overreact to situations, not to overreact to injustices, not to overreact, not to knee-jerk react, but to instead keep walking according to the protocols of the Holy One. Keep the vision of the Holy One. Keep the action plan of the Holy One and the disciplines of wisdom. So we've been trained in these disciplines by the Holy One himself. We try not to let this teaching by the Holy One corrupt us. That's why we read Torah. We study the Torah because it comes from the Holy One himself. That allows us not to be corrupted by institutions or indoctrinations or education systems or religious systems. Instead of being corrupted and indoctrinated by those things, instead being trained by the disciplines of the Holy One by himself, we are now beginning to pulse with divinely awakened energy and passion and prudence. The people that's arising and being called forth right now, being awakened right now to our purpose and our destiny and Tikkun Olam protocols, is to walk in heretofore unheard of and unexperienced levels of impact, levels of societal impact, cultural impact, geographical impact. We are to have a footprint. We are to carry into every sphere of influence, every place the sole of our foot shall tread, carry governmental authority from heaven, God on earth, in heaven, and bring that to earth. We're to do it in humility. That is our sign. In meekness, in honor, and in short accountability to the Holy One, responsiveness to the Holy One. And we're to bring it then to every place, to every person, to every family, to every home, to every farm, to every village, to every street, every marketplace, to every forum, to every internet forum, to every city, to every nation. There is a time coming of great darkness, but there is a people arising of intense light. Well, there are certain areas that we need to dedicate to the use of this new kingdom-centered society building program. From ourselves' standpoint, from the standpoint of what's within us, each of us is called to be part of this light-bearing community, which starts with our hearts. Who does your heart belong to, beloved? What is in your heart? And though I realize the heart of man is inherently evil until it is touched by the Holy One, until we circumcise that heart, as Moshe tells us to do this week, to cut away the excess flesh off of the heart, to reveal the essence of what the Holy One created and designed, as opposed to the scar tissue that we have developed around our heart. The heart, the soul, the mind, the will and emotion is what the soul consists of, the nephesh, that which is even the basic level at which we interact with the world through thought and through speech. Then our strength, our physical activities and energies, our mind, our memory, even what we allow ourselves to memorize and how we prioritize the memories. These are the areas we submit, surrender, sanctify, make kiddush over. And that's just the first four. The fifth is the eyes, what we will choose, what we allow ourselves to look at. We surrender the eyes, dedicate the eyes to the Holy One. Will you dedicate your eyes to the Holy One? Will you quit looking? Will you not look upon any vain thing, as David said? Will you begin to focus on that which the Holy One wants you to see? What do you want me to see, Abba, Father? What do you want me to see, our Avinu, our Father in heaven? And then the ears. What will we shema? What will we let resonate, what vibrate, set our ears to vibrating and resonating, and what frequencies will we tune to, and what will we begin to emanate and hum and tune with, begin to cause the same sound to come forth, to reflect the sound. Ears, eyes, how about mouths and tongues? We have to surrender the foundation stones regarding mouths and tongues and vocal cords and speech capacities that are surrendered to the Holy One. Mouth, what will we let go into our mouth? What will we eat? What will we eat according to the strategies and the plan of the Holy One? And then what will we speak? Well, appearance. Well, how will we let ourselves be presented to the world? Well, what will we say about the way our bodies are presented, the way our skin is presented to people? Will we pierce it and poke it and ink it? And you understand, beloved, this is not a condemnation. This is a saying, from this point forward, will we sanctify ourselves? We will not do those things. Will not submit things and show things to the world that are not specifically told us to do in the Torah. Hands. What will we do with our hands? What will we do with our feet? And what will become our footprint? That's just what we do with ourselves. Now you look around you, at the space around you, and the space where you live, the space where you work, the space where you shop, the space where you entertain yourself, the space where you travel and visit for vacation. With the sanctified zones, will you sanctify the zones of impact that the Holy One has ordained for you? With the land around you, the houses that you live in or go to or visit, the tables that you sit at and take food from, the doorposts that you enter, the gates that you enter, the fields and the pastures that you work or that you harvest food from, or that you eat of the food that's harvested in, the orchards, the vineyards, the watershed areas where the water will fall, and the marketplaces. These are the sanctified zones. We need to see them as being that, dedicate them to the Holy One if we're going to be a people of the heaven-scented society. Well, I want to move briefly on because it's time to leave you. I want to talk basically about, well, let's just sing the Baruch, and it will be time for me to go. As you begin your studies, whenever I bid you adieu in just a moment, as you begin your own private studies, don't forget that this is the second half of consolation. Isaiah 49 through 51, those verses, those chapters are where we are today. And let that be a part of the vision as you're beginning to be restored to a vision for the end of days, an end game of God. Do that and think about all the things you will find in Ekev and the Parsha as well, which correspond to those Haftarah readings. Now let's sing the blessing, the Baruch. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam vayed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bakar banu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. And now may you open our eyes, O Holy One, that we may see wondrous things in your Torah. For we are but strangers in the earth, so do not hide your commandments from us. Well, enjoy your Sabbath day. Receive the peace, receive the delight, receive the blessing. And I'll see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.